That's amazing, eh? And how much code did you write?
Nothing.
What?
Very little coding.
Really?
Right.
You guys are becoming experts in MEDIX, and so you're offering that service to build rapid solutions for factories using MEDIX.
Absolutely. I think we're one of the first SIs that's applied MEDIX for industrial use.
Yeah.
Traditionally, MEDIX was used for banking and insurance companies. I think Momentum and Standard Bank has standardized on MEDIX as we speak, and it's I believe the only low-code platform which gives you that industrial flavor to it.
Low-code platforms are becoming everywhere now.
Yeah.
And it's a very cool one, but there's none that are focusing on the protocols that we have, OPC UA, MQTT, for example.
So we successfully integrated this with Rockwell, for instance, and with Siemens without any issues, because they're all using a standard protocol, which is quite nice.
That's cool.
We've developed MES modules on top of MEDIX to serve like the SMB guys, which the guys don't have the big budgets.
Maybe what is MEDIX?
MEDIX is a low-code platform.
Okay.
Right? So it actually helps you to quickly build applications in your facility at a fast pace, and also complementing existing solutions that you may have. Like if you want to have, if you got some gaps on the ERP level and you want to enhance that with some applications, MEDIX could easily fill that gap and complement what you've got on the ERP side.
Yeah.
As well as in the MES layer or MOM layer, if there are gaps and you need to modernize or complement, you can use MEDIX easily to complement that, or you can just build an application from scratch.
Okay.
So
it sounds like a low-code application with a lot of APIs or connectors, eh?
Yeah, so MEDIX specifically has got the industrial flavor to it, so you can integrate with most protocols. We normally use OPC UA. So if you've got OPC UA compliancy, we can integrate with that quite easily. MQTT, obviously, any database. On SAP or on ERP side, normally REST APIs.
Yeah.
That's available. We can use REST APIs, or we can expose REST APIs for the ERP to actually call. If they trigger maybe a SAP release or an order release from the ERP into our system, they would actually use our APIs that we've developed.
So you can also develop your own APIs?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
That's cool. So you've used MEDIX to build what you say is an MES, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So if you look at the IDE, this is like the IDE of MEDIX. So you've got your data modeling, and you've got different modules you can develop. So you can see we've developed modules specifically to cover MES capabilities. So we've got equipment management, detail scheduling, OEE, quality management, shift calendar, work order management, and then the coding basically is in terms of visual flows, right? So if you go to, let's look at a flow, right? So you would typically have objects on the right hand side, you'll drag and drop, and you'll create your business logic using visualization. So here I'll retrieve some information from the database, I'll create a list, loop through some things, do the decisions, and have an output. And you use this as your logic.
Yeah.
You don't actually touch any coding. However, if you really do want to get to the coding level, you can actually go and add JavaScript or Java actions, or do your own coding.
You can basically build custom functions that you pull into a sequence, basically.
Absolutely. And you expose it as an object and you pull it into your flow and you use it that way. So this is the idea. So if I show you what we've done in terms of the application on MES level, we've just used I'm just going to log out quickly. We've used a pet food as an example. We can actually configure it for multiple sites in that industry. So it sort of contextualizes against one site. If you look at your production orders, let me go actually to your equipment model. The equipment plant model is based on ISO 95 structure. Where you've got your enterprise, site, area, and your machines, and each packing lines. Each packing line has got machines within that. So you set up your entire structure this way, and you can see in terms of the setup, we've got your ISA 95 objects. That's as a standard. You could obviously create your own library objects and use that as a template to create your plant model. Once you've got that done, then you actually link that to, for instance, a ERP work center, and you can receive orders against that work center into the system. And then it will come in as a planned order. Right? At the moment, they're all scheduled, but typically will be planned. This gets sent into our scheduling software, which is the 𝗬𝗘𝗔𝗥𝗦 APS software sitting on that side, where the scheduler would actually schedule the order using a specific rules or constraints. It will come back here and then be available on the shop floor for execution. So if you can look on this side here, this is the scheduling software. So once it's planned, it gets imported here. The planner will go and look at your resources, and throw the orders on the scheduling board, and he can actually go and move around, the orders as he likes, or run a predefined rule, which would look at minimizing setup time, or maybe eliminating material shortages, using the due date as a constraint, that type of thing.
Okay.
Once he's happy, he releases
This is not MEDIX though, right?
This is not MEDIX. We're using this as a complementary product on MEDIX for scheduling purposes.
So this is what the guys on the floor would see, basically.
This is the schedule that the planner would see.
Oh, the planner would see.
Yes. But the planner, when he's done with that, he will release it again. It goes back to MEDIX.
Okay.
And it becomes a scheduled order.
Okay, got it. Understood now.
So then it becomes available here, right? So this is your typical interface at the line itself.
Okay.
So we've got the kiosk, we've got a tablet running here, we've got order lists. So based on this production line, these are the orders that needs to be executed for that shift.
Okay.
You can see the first one is running already. The operator can actually go and look at the BOM, that's the bill of materials obviously. He can go and reprioritize order if he wants to, and then actually change the priority, and it will go through a workflow process where someone needs to approve it. Once it's approved, it will be available for execution. They'll go and start the order, go through some pre-startup checks. And by the way, the checklists are all configurable in the system. You can define your own checklist. They'll go through some checks. If you just do this, and then submit it. Once it's submitted, the system will signal back to automation layer, start the machine will go into running status, and all clear is running.
Okay. And all of this, except for the planning module, is done in this MEDIX?
All MEDIX, So everything is visual, as I said. We are actually implemented a solution like this in a matter of 7 months from start to finish.
Wow.
Containing the basic MES capabilities.
And typically it would take?
Years.
And you'd be wrong and you'd have to be adjusting, so this gives you the flexibility to keep it, iterating it, right?
Yes.
It's really, really, I remember you spoke last year and I was like, it's a new way of thinking.
It's so disrupting a bit, I believe. The problem is you need to go to market fast, and you need to be competitive. You need to bring out your product faster to the market. So we want to help customers that battling with that thing. That's eliminating the long periods of executing projects, getting to value as quickly as possible. And then also giving them the ability to do it themselves, right? So we sort of help them and give them a kickstart with a template or what we call an accelerator module. And then they can take that and extend it further by getting the necessary training to do that. And all the training is for free online. You can actually do all your learning paths for free. You can learn MEDIX and quite easily help yourself.
How does the pricing model for MEDIX work?
So it's a platform, a subscription-based model, annual subscription on the platform itself. So you get different levels of the platform. You get small, medium, large, extra large, and so forth. And then you license per user. That's
so users an interface basically, or a login.
Each license is a physical person, right? So that needs to use the system.
All right.
There's no licenses regarding a number of machines or equipment and that type of thing.